IRC, COVID-19 and the 2020 Illinois Report Card. The COVID-19 global pandemic impacted the operation of public schools across the state of Illinois beginning in early 2020. This special tour of the 2020 Illinois Report Card will highlight changes to the site that have been put in place to help you recognize the areas where those changes in the ways schools operated may have impacted data collection by the Illinois State Board of Education for the 2019-2020 school year. Let's examine the displays for a sample school district. In this case, we'll use Eureka CUSD 140. Notice below the information box in the header of the page, the note regarding the new cautionary flags. It reminds you that any item marked with a yellow triangle may have been impacted by changes in school operations made in response to COVID-19. If we scroll down the profile page for the district, we'll see various examples and see the different types of flags. Here, you can see both of the cautionary flags that will be used across the site. Under graduation rate, the message reads, "Possible COVID-19 impact." Items marked in that way did have data collected for the 2019-2020 school year, and those data are reported here. In this example, students still graduated from high school in 2020. The number and percentage of students who graduated from the Eureka School District has been confirmed and isn't a concern. That's not why the caution flag appears here. The flag appears here because school districts across the state responded to the pandemic and public orders in different ways. Some continued to operate providing in-person instruction, for example, while some moved entirely to online instruction, and some operated at some place in between. Schools had to make hundreds of additional decisions about potential changes to the way they operated. Some of those decisions may have been in areas tied to graduation requirements and impacted the number of students who successfully graduated at the end of the year. Their graduation rate may have been a bit higher than normal or a bit lower. The caution flag appears here to remind you that if you see values here that are atypical of what you are used to seeing for a district or school, that it may be as a result of the impact of changes in the ways schools operated, whether those changes were positive or negative. Let's take a look now at Growth IAR. You'll see that has a different message attached. Not available COVID-19. Growth IAR is calculated based on results of spring testing involving the Illinois Assessment of Readiness. The U.S. Department of Education waived the requirement that all students be tested in the spring of 2020 due to the extensive disruption in school operations. And so, students did not take the IAR in 2020, and the growth values could not be calculated. You'll see the impact of the federal waiver on testing in the Academic Progress section, where much of the data for the 2019-2020 school year is not available. Keep in mind, though, that the report card also provides historical information for this district. If you're looking for general information about student performance on the IAR for the Eureka School District, results for 2019 are still available for you to review. Individual schools will show the same types of caution flags displayed in exactly the same way. The Compare Schools feature has also been updated to include cautionary flags. None of the information provided in the Fast Facts section has been designated for a caution flag, so no note appears here. But if we click on the Progress tab, we see the appearance of a general COVID-19 caution flag. The caution flag appears at the head of the column because one or more of the data points in this section carries the caution flag. The Advanced School Comparison feature uses the caution flags as well. Even on the selection screen, the caution flag warns us again that test performance information was not available for the 2019-2020 school year. And so test performance is not available as a filter for selection of schools. If we click into Test Performance, we'll see the filters are still active because the system is using 2019 test performance instead of 2020. You can still make use of this filter to compare Eureka Middle School to other schools with a designated range of English Language Arts or math performance on the IAR. In the Advanced School Comparison tool, you'll see the caution flags appear in the same way they did on the rest of the site. The initial cautionary message tells us items could possibly have been impacted by COVID-19. And when we click on an individual item, like participation rate, the caution flag updates to indicate 2020 data is not available due to COVID-19. Much like on the site, we have the ability to select a different year from the pull-down menu if we would like to compare available data from a previous school year. Let's examine just one more change in the 2020 report card due to COVID-19. The At a Glance PDF reports provide a quick reference sheet for each school in the system, and typically include a great deal of information about test performance. No at-a-glance reports are available for the 2020 school year. Instead, you'll see this statement from the Illinois State Board of Education indicating why they are not available. As with the other elements we've covered, at-a-glance reports are still downloadable for prior school years. These caution flags can't begin to explain the extent of changes schools across Illinois made in response to COVID-19. But hopefully, they will begin to provide a frame of reference for the ways that COVID may have impacted the information that you have come to depend on within the Illinois Report Card. For a more detailed explanation of the changes in practice that may have been made in a local school or district that you are interested in, please contact that school or district. Thank you for your ongoing interest in the Illinois Report Card.